Hello and welcome to this 10-minute tune-up. My name is Katie, co-founder of Unfold, and today's tune-up is going to be a simple seated meditation, and we're going to explore the correlation between self-compassion and resiliency. They really support each other. Self-compassion is our ability to treat ourselves and our suffering and our pain with kindness and gentleness, and really be a witness to our own uncomfortable experiences, the way that we would show support and love and kindness to somebody that we care about. We give ourselves that same feeling. Resiliency is our ability to bounce back after a challenging circumstance. So how do these two things connect? If you've ever experienced a setback, you know, if you get really down on yourself, if you start becoming self-critical, it's really hard to pick yourself back up and put one foot in front of the other. But if we can practice self-compassion in that moment of failure, or in that moment of discomfort, or in that moment of challenge, it becomes a lot easier to be present with what is, observe the experience objectively, connect with the painful experience, connect with the discomfort, so that you can then put one foot in front of the other and move on with your life. Build that resiliency, do what you gotta do. So for our loving kindness practice today, one way to practice loving kindness in the moment is, first we need to recognize when a discomfort is happening so that we can just pay attention to the fact that some self-compassion is needed. So during our meditation practice, I'm going to invite you to consider a time in your own life where maybe you were hard on yourself, or maybe you felt like you were failing, or maybe you were ashamed or feeling self-critical in any way. And then we're going to use physical touch. We're actually going to take our hands and place them onto our heart. You can also place your hand gently onto your cheek. And if you've ever seen, a baby crying and a caregiver tending to a child, they'll often do that. They'll give them this nice little loving touch on their cheek, or, if we see something really sweet, we instinctively place our hands on our heart. So it's a very physical, tangible way to connect with that softening as we witness and experience discomfort. Also, this act of physical connection to ourselves helps us to shift our nervous system from a sympathetic state, that stressful, tight, constricted place, to the parasympathetic nervous system, which is one where we can relax and really be present and observe. All right, so with that, please sit tall and kind of rock from side to side a little bit. Let's do a few backward shoulder rolls here. And maybe roll the neck out a few times. Okay. And then pause here. Your eyes can be opened or closed. I'm going to close my eyes. Begin to shift your attention inward. One way to do that is to use your breath as your anchor for attention. So begin to sense the feeling of the breath, moving in and out of the nose if possible. Maybe ever so slightly deepen and lengthen your breath. Relax the abdomen, relax the shoulders, relax the space between the eyebrows. And begin to bring into your mind's eye an experience that you've had that you can remember, where you felt like you were being critical of yourself. A time when you know logically in your thinking brain that self-compassion would have been really helpful, but for whatever reason, it felt hard to actually connect to that feeling authentically. So maybe you made a mistake at work, or maybe you were late to something, maybe you forgot about a deadline. Just bring as much of color and imagination back into that experience. Try to remember what it was. What did it feel like in your body? How did you feel in your mind? What did it feel like when you spoke to yourself in a critical way, or maybe you were a little harsh? And then begin to layer in some mindfulness about that experience. Mindfulness means paying attention to the present moment without judging it. So you just get really objective. What actually happened? Okay, you missed a deadline. Okay, you were late. Try to let go of any judgment or self-criticism about the actual experience and just get clear on what happened, really objectively. And now in this moment, make an intentional decision to shift out of that self-criticism mindset and into a place of loving kindness, of self-compassion. So this is an intention, it's an active choice that you're making now to experience a different relationship to that discomfort. So if you'd like, you can place one hand onto your heart or one hand gently onto your cheek. And if you're in a place where you don't actually want to place your hand on your heart or your cheek, you can just imagine yourself doing it. Just visualize yourself doing it. Just begin to offer yourself that loving kindness, that compassion. Right? The same way you would help a friend, the same way you would speak to a loved one if they were in pain, if they were suffering, if they were worried. Give yourself that same gentle, loving support. And as you sense that loving touch of your hand on your heart or your hand on your cheek or the visualization of your hand on your heart, just notice. Let the whole front part of your chest soften and relax. Allow the breath to be easy. Just give yourself that little reassurance. It's okay. Practice being a witness to this discomfort, treating it gently. Just take a few more moments here, feeling that sense of self-compassion move through you, noticing that shift in the way the body is feeling and the way that the mind is reacting. And then notice from this place of self-compassion, maybe it feels a little easier to pick yourself back up, take another step forward, carry on, to keep going, to build that resilience. You can lower your hand down from your heart or your cheek. Start to deepen the breath, drop the chin down slightly towards your chest. Allow the awareness to move outward a little bit. Notice the sounds that you hear, visualize the space around you. And when you're ready, slowly open up your eyes and lift your gaze. Good. Thanks so much for joining. Take care of yourselves and have a great day.